Hello guys, and welcome to the episode of the Hunt Weapon Guides. Today we'll be looking at the Mosin-Nagant M1891 and its variants. I want to start the video by saying thank you to all the viewers of my last guides. You are what inspires me to go on with my work. Anyway, let's begin, shall we? I want to begin the video by saying that I personally didn't have the smoothest experience with the Mosin-Nagant throughout my service, which by now has broken 1000 hours. I always avoided the Mosin because unlike another long ammo repeating rifle like the Lebel, Berthier or Krag and single shot rifles like the Martini or Sparks, the Mosin wasn't used much, especially once its price went up to $620 hunt. So anyways, enough ranting from me and let's get to it. Let's begin with the basic Mosin. The base Mosin mostly excels at having a high base muzzle velocity of 625 meters per second and a quick stripper clip reload on almost all variants, and in return trades off rate of fire and cost, as well as magazine size and its max ammo pool being average in the long ammo category, with it getting 15 rounds using base ammo and incendiary ammo. All issues aside, it can prove strong in a gunfight when you're focused on hitting and making the most of your 15 rounds and using a variant that suits your playstyle needs. Let's go over the perks the Mosin benefits from. Firstly, there is the standard trait of most repeating rifles, Iron Eye. Iron Eye is a 3 skill point trait which increases the weapon's cycle speed while aimed down sights and allows you to stay in your sights during the operation of the repeating mechanism. Iron Eye is not a must, but will help in making sure that you get the max out of your rate of fire and you keep the pressure up. The other perk is a benefit perk called Bulletgrubber. This trait allows you to keep a round otherwise ejected when reloading the gun without fully emptying the magazine, or holding down the trigger to keep the bolt shut till you reload. That being said, Bulletgrubber isn't a must either. It just makes combat reloads with your already low ammo count less punishing should you need to top off without the ability to use the trick of keeping your bolt shut till you reload after shooting. To wrap up the base Mosin, let's look at its custom ammos and their respective tactics. Let's begin with Incendiary. As the name implies, this ammo comes with the ability to ignite enemies up to 40 meters and beyond, at which it will require 2 consecutive hits. Incendiary ammo is great for igniting the enemy, which chars their health slowly and lowers their max health temporarily or permanently if full bar is burnt, making it great for suppressive playstyles and a consequent push, since enemies can't regain burn health through any way except the Banish or the Rampage trait, which means that it's a great initiation for a push or a quick finisher by a teammate, or throwable like a hive bomb, any of the explosive ones like dynamite, a frag bomb, or even the small stalker beetle. Charring health also prevents heals, at least temporarily, and prevents regeneration from taking place like from normal health regeneration or a regeneration shot. Next up is Spitzer ammo. This ammo type increases the muzzle velocity by a good chunk, ensuring you have the maximum hit chance for longer range and improving the wall penetration as a whole. Its increase in penetrating power makes it so that wallbangs are more reliable and doable even at a range, ensuring soft to medium cover like fences and wood walls pose less of a challenge. It comes with lower damage due to the higher speed and pointier tip of the bullet. This means you need to focus on getting those headshots, which makes me only really recommend it on the Mosin Sniper and the Mosin Obrez Sharpeye, since those have the range and optics to work with it. You also lose out on a bunch of ammo, which can reduce your combat effectiveness. Let's quickly talk about the Mosin Bayonet. Almost all of the above applies to the Mosin Bayonet, except the inclusion of a powerful sharp melee attached to the front. Useful for taking out bosses and armors as well as one-shotting players. You should use the same armor as with the base Mosin and only really use the bayonet when things get close or you have to fight a charging attacker, since otherwise it may get you killed instead of helping you. Next on the list is the Mosin Sniper. The Mosin Sniper is really good at its namesake, sniping. Its base velocity is great at 625 meters per second, and with Spitzer it even hits 820 meters per second. Putting it up there with the other top sniper rifles from the long ammo category, the Berthier and Lebel. It copies all of the base Mosin stats but throws on a scope and the removal of the ability to use a quick 5-round clip reload, switching out Iron's Eye for 2 needed perks. Scopesmiths, which is the equivalent of Iron Eye, but just for aperture equipped and scope weapons, allowing you to rechamber a new round faster while staying aimed in, and to fix the sway, that stems from the higher magnification Steady Aim, which decreases the time needed to steady your sight while standing still to around 3 seconds. Another way to enhance steady aim, or the overall steady even further, is to crouch, which also reduces weapon sway. When it comes to ammo, I usually choose either default ammo for its availability, and rarely Spitzer if I'm playing solo at range. That wraps up the 3-slot full-length Mosins, and now we get to the Mosin Obrez carbines. The first on the list is the Obrez Match, which just like the Centennial Shorty or similar, suffers from a lower muzzle velocity of 540 meters per second and a lower damage drop-off and drop range, as well as a slight damage debuff down to 130 damage. This does affect it much though, since it's intended for budget loadouts, using weapons like for example a shotgun or similar, while saving money and having the same custom ammo choices, being Incendiary and Spitzer, or just sticking to the good old default ammo. The issue lies in almost all of its stats except mag size being worse than the Berthier, so unless your goal is to explicitly play the Mosin for being a Mosin variant, perhaps skip it. Otherwise, if you still wish to use it, remember to try and stick more to medium ranges due to its higher than average sway and lower muzzle velocity, and you should do decently if you remember to keep your distance and make your shots count. Next up is the Mosin Obrez Sharpeye, identical to the Mosin Obrez Match in most ways, except a Deadeye scope. It is tailored towards the medium to long range, meaning you should be able to compensate its lack of fire rate or close range custom ammos, plus its still relatively high velocity allows you to reliably use the Spitzer ammo or normal ammo, which is very powerful. To compensate the lower muzzle velocity, you're also given more rounds to carry. While it may sound weird at first, I personally would choose default ammo in most cases over Spitzer, since it usually trades for decent performance, and while the insane velocity is nice, having a reliable plan B outside head popping is better, and that is where all the Spitzer ammo fails. The only other ammo I don't recommend is Incendiary, due to the addition of tracers and the lack of wall penetration. Finally, the Mosin Obrez 2-slot shorties, or as I call it by now, the pocket snipers. They have a shorter range and lower damage, but mostly hold their own with variants such as the versatile Obrez and Obrez Mace, or the comical Obrez Drum, which comes with a 15-round drum magazine. I'd personally only really consider base ammo and use this gun as a medium secondary for short-range loadouts, like shotguns and bow or crossbow weapons, or in a double medium loadout. Their stats are even weaker than the Match and Sharpeye, but at least they come with the benefit of being only a 2-slot, meaning they are way more flexible in being used and allow for greater loadout. There is also a unique variant of the long Mosin, which I didn't mention earlier. It is the Mosin-Nagant Avtomat. This is a full auto conversion of the Mosin, equipped with a 15-round drum magazine. It fires in 3-round bursts and is only really tailored towards close range. It shouldn't really be played unless you have a lot of money laying around and enjoy this type of playstyle, since it is reliant on a 3-round burst to 1 burst the enemy. If you miss your bursts, you're left with the high recoil Mosin with shitty ammo economy, no backup ammo unless you take an uppercut, sparks pistol or a haymaker, and overall not the most fun to play if the enemy knows what they're doing, since they can easily shut you down with a well-placed sniper shot or a shotgun to the face. It is also very expensive and doesn't really benefit from custom ammos due to the high recoil. Now for a small summary of each weapon. The Mosin, in its base configuration, does best at medium range using normal ammo, perhaps some Incendiary. The Mosin in this config is best suited as a support player in second line, using your velocity to contest enemies at mid-range or even long range, and countering enemy pushes with your damage and velocity to prevent them from getting close. The Mosin Bayonet can work well in close and medium range, using Incendiary to push back the enemy if things get close, or you can use your front-mounted melee as a last resort to kill a charging player or somebody that is hiding behind a corner that can't take you out in one go. The Mosin Sniper is best used from the last line of the team or as a starter to the fight, by taking out people at long range or who are pinned down in open fields or similar, by using its scope and when in urban combat or on the defense, using a position from deep inside a room to conceal its presence and lower the chance of being spotted or taken out. The Avtomat is a close-range fire support that uses immense firepower to overwhelm the enemy and should really be considered to be played considering its high price and lack of versatility. The normal Obrez can be used as a medium-range secondary to short-range loadouts like bows, crossbows and shotguns to bridge the gap between you and your enemy's weapon. The mace is designed for frontline combat, allowing you to surprise attack enemies with the mace in case they get too close while you try to halt their attack or even push them back. The drum focuses on a more close-range approach by using its large magazine to be relatively hard to contest and to cause havoc amongst enemy teams as they scramble to take you out by waiting for your large mag to dry up. The Obrez match is a carbine variant of the base Mosin and is there for budget loadout and as a downgrade which can work in medium ranges where its drawbacks prove less problematic. The Sharpeye is a range extension of the base Obrez match, allowing you to both use the Mosin Sniper tactics to support your team and the base tactics of close range support, just with better optical sights. That's it, and thank you for watching. The next weapon on the list is the Vetterli rifle. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing for more guides to come, and leave a like to show your support for the series. Have a nice day.